The first human ever assigned to protect an alien monarch wasn't chosen for exceptional skill, bravery, or loyalty, though he possessed all three. He was chosen because of his face. Commander Aaron Hale had no idea that the moment he stepped into the crystalline throne hall of the Zaryon Empire, his entire life would pivot around a single gasp from the Queen herself. He had spent months preparing for this diplomatic exchange, memorizing protocols and alien customs, but nothing could prepare him for the way Queen Zelera froze upon his entry, her bioluminescent skin flashing from sapphire to ghost white. The Zaryon guards bristled instantly, their plasma spears aimed at his chest. Aaron's training kicked in, and he stood perfectly still, palms open, heart pounding. Queen Zelera rose from her elevated dais, her flowing mantle of shimmering nanofiber drifting like smoke behind her. Her four iridescent eyes fixed on him, wide with disbelief, sorrow, and something like fear. "Human," she whispered in a voice that echoed with harmonic resonance. "Your face that cannot be." Aaron kept his voice steady. "Your Majesty, I—" "Stand down," she commanded her guards without looking away from him. The guards obeyed, though confusion rippled through their ranks. Queen Zelera stepped closer, each footfall soundless on the crystalline floor. Aaron noticed her trembling, an odd sight for someone rumored to be the most powerful telepath in 3 sectors. "You resemble him," she murmured. "My lost bondmate. Dead these 10 cycles." Aaron swallowed. He had read Zaryon culture briefs. Bondmates were sacred, and their loss was catastrophic. But resemblance? That was never mentioned. "I assure you, I have no knowledge of—" "Not just resemblance," she interrupted. "Your eyes, your jaw, even the scar above your brow. All identical." She reached out a hand but stopped just short of touching him. "What are you?" "A human soldier," he said gently. "Nothing more." Her gaze softened, but her voice carried deep pain. "That is what frightens me." For the next several days, Aaron was assigned close protection detail inside the Zaryon palace. What was supposed to be a cooperative security assignment became an awkward dance of unspoken tension. Wherever he went, he felt Queen Zelera's eyes on him, or sensed her presence lingering in the edges of his mind. The Zaryon palace was a breathtaking labyrinth of floating platforms, hovering gardens, and prismatic architecture that shifted with the sunlight. Aaron found it beautiful, unsettling, and easy to get lost in. But Queen Zelera always seemed to know where he was. One evening, after the twin moons rose and cast silvery light through the palace's transparent walls, she summoned him. When he entered her private chamber, she dismissed her attendants. Only the soft hum of energy conduits filled the silence between them. "I owe you an explanation," she said. "You owe me nothing, Your Majesty," Aaron replied, but she lifted a hand. "I do, because your presence disturbs me, and yet I cannot dismiss you." She moved toward a floating hollow crystal and activated it. A projection appeared, a tall Zaryon male with noble features, a strong jawline, and a familiar brow scar across his temple. This was Kaler, my bondmate. Aaron's breath caught. The resemblance was uncanny, human or not. "He died when an experiment to stabilize a wormhole collapsed," Zelera said. "His body was never recovered. His genetic imprint was scattered across the quantum breach." She paused, her voice tightening. "Recently, our scientists began discussing anomalies. Echoes of Zaryon DNA appearing in foreign species. We thought it theoretical. A harmless curiosity." Aaron frowned. "Are you suggesting he somehow influenced the human genome?" She shook her head. "No, not the genome. The quantum field. His imprint may have brushed against your developmental pattern, shaped your features." She turned away, her mantle dimming to a sorrowful violet. You might be more connected to him than you understand. Aaron felt the room tilt. He had expected culture shock, not metaphysical existential crises. And what does that mean for my role? He asked quietly. Zellara faced him again. It means I cannot bear to look at you, and yet I need you to stay. She stepped closer, her expression raw. You awaken memories I buried. Memories I am terrified to face, yet cannot let go of. A week later, the peace negotiations that had brought Aaron to the Zarati world were violently disrupted. A rogue faction known as the Voidborn, extremists who despised the alliance with humanity, launched a coordinated attack on the palace. Explosions shook the structure, fragments of prismatic crystal raining down as the palace's shield flickered. Aaron sprinted through the corridors, guiding Queen Zellara toward the emergency chamber. Zarati guards fought fiercely, but the Voidborn were relentless, using destabilizer cannons that tore through energy barriers like paper. We must reach the inner sanctum, Zellara said. Its shields can withstand a planet buster. They were mere steps from the sanctum door when a massive shockwave blasted through the hall. Aaron shielded the queen with his body as they both slammed against the wall. Pain seared through his ribs, but he forced himself up. A Voidborn commander stepped from the smoke, wielding a crackling spear. Queen Zellara, he growled. Your reign ends tonight. Aaron didn't hesitate. He lunged forward, intercepting the attacker. The clash was violent. Aaron dodged the plasma sweeps and countered with precise strikes. But humans were still flesh, and his strength paled compared to the augmented alien. He was thrown to the floor, dazed. The commander raised his weapon for the killing blow, but he froze. His body went rigid, suspended midair by an invisible force. Zellara's eyes blazed with white-hot fury. You dare threaten what remains of him? Her telepathic power surged in a shockwave that hurled the attacker backward. His body struck the wall with a sickening crack and slid lifeless to the floor. Aaron stared at her, chest heaving. You saved me. A tremor ran through her. I could not lose him again. She knelt beside him, her hands glowing as she scanned for injuries. Aaron Hale, whether you carry his imprint or none at all, your life matters to me now. He met her 4 luminous eyes. Something unspoken passed between them, a recognition, ancient and new all at once. But the moment was shattered by another explosion.
Go, she said.
We must finish this. The battle raged for hours. When reinforcements finally arrived, the Voidborn were defeated, though the palace lay heavily damaged. Fires smoldered in the gardens, and half the Skybridge towers had collapsed. Aaron and Zellara stood on a balcony overlooking the ravaged city. Your people survived, Aaron said softly. That's what matters. Zellara turned to him. And you survived. She reached toward his face but hesitated again. This time, he gently took her hand. I'm not him, Aaron said. I never will be, but I'm here now, and I'm willing to stay as long as you want me. Her expression softened into something warmer than he'd ever seen. The wormhole that claimed Kaler stole a part of me, she whispered. But perhaps the universe has returned something different, not to replace him, but to remind me that loss is not the end of meaning. Aaron squeezed her hand. Then let's build something new. She nodded slowly, her mantle glowing gold, the color of tentative hope. Ending. In the weeks that followed, reconstruction efforts transformed the ruined palace into a symbol of unity. Humans and Zarati worked side by side, sharing technology, culture, and stories. And in the center of it all was Aaron, still fulfilling his role as royal guard, but also becoming something more. Queen Zellara no longer avoided his presence. Instead, she welcomed it. They spent long evenings discussing their worlds, their histories, their pain, and their futures. Aaron learned the Zarati stars by name. Zelera learned the warmth of human laughter. One night, beneath the reflected glow of 3 nebulae drifting overhead, Zelera spoke the words that finally eased the shadow between them. "I no longer see you as his echo," she said. "I see you as Aaron Hale, a man who stood by me when all else fell." "And I see you," Aaron replied, "not as a queen burdened by grief, but someone who chose to live again despite it." Her mantle shimmered softly. "Then let this be our beginning." As the palace lights dimmed and the horizon brightened with the first rays of dawn, Aaron had a quiet realization. He had arrived on this world as a soldier fulfilling orders. But he remained because this alien queen, once haunted, now healing, had found space in her life for him. And he, in turn, had discovered a place where he wasn't merely tolerated, but needed. Not as a replacement, not as an echo, but as himself. And somewhere in the distant reaches of the universe, Aaron liked to imagine that Kayla, whoever or whatever he had become, might approve.
The end.